It's the Love and Your Wake podcast, and we're so glad that you've joined us today. Together again with Isaac Troop and Jemma Troop, we're diving into theology to talk real life and learn how we, like Jesus, can leave love in our wake. I'm Bethany Thompson. Let's go. So, welcome back.
Hi, guys. Good
Hello
to be here.
again.
If you missed it, Jemma and Isaac both work on our team here at Encounter Church. Isaac is our young adults pastor, and Jemma, along with her husband Joe, are our youth pastor. And they're awesome. They do great at their jobs. They're both worship leaders. They both do kids and admin and cafe. I don't know, everything
We
probably.
do,
So
yeah.
that is correct.
I was like trying to connect the threads you were connecting. I was like, actually, no, they do connect.
Don't know if I had threads or as I was just talking. But anyway, so we're in a bit of a series about growth, and this has been part of our church for this year, and it's our word for the year. So if you're not from Encounter Church, welcome. We're really glad that you're tuning in because we believe that growing is important and is essential for the health of our lives, our marriages, our families, and the kingdom of God at large. And so last week we kind of dived into some of the mental and emotional fractures that can stop us from growing. And so today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, but still in the line of growth.
Yep.
Discipline barriers.
Ooh.
I don't know about you, but if anyone goes discipline, it's just like one of those words that you love and you hate
It's
at the
not.
same time.
It's not a very
If it's for
attractive
someone else,
word.
you love it.
No.
If it's for yourself, you hate it.
Yes, yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
But this is kind of the make or break, right, of growth. And
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
kind of if
yeah.
we can do these things and form some habits and create some rhythms and patterns and have a life that is kind of tracking in a direction, thumbs up, we're
Yes.
doing all right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if we fail to have these things and we have encountered these barriers but can't
Yep.
overcome them, it does kind of lead us to looping around or crashing.
Yeah.
Maybe just having a good
Yeah.
old crash on the side. So tell me, maybe ones you've personally encountered or in just your experience, what are some barriers to discipline that you think are just even out there, just
Yeah.
in general?
I would definitely say distraction.
Yes.
distraction. I feel like we live in a world where more than ever it is so easy to be distracted. Where almost if you, there's so many things that are like,
Look at me,
screaming
buy
for your
me,
time,
yeah.
screaming for your attention. I've even heard people refer to it as the attention economy. That every
Yes. Oh, that's a great
every
thought.
app, every streaming service, every site is just
vying for your
vying to
attention.
get your attention and trying to hold it for as long as physically possible. It can create an environment where if we're not actually super intentional about being like, okay, how do I want to spend my time? What disciplines do I want to have so that
Yeah,
I can
wow.
become the person I want to be? It can be so easy not to even not make a decision, not to not even. The issue isn't in not wanting that. The issue is in wanting that and even having an idea of how to do it, but then just getting so distracted by the world around you and the kind of environment
Yes.
that you forget. You almost just forget that, these are my goals. Oh, that was what
Yeah.
I was wanting to do this
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
I actually
Yes.
had a goal for 2026 at the start of
Yes.
this year and now
Yeah.
it's gone. I definitely think it's a major barrier in
Yeah.
today's world.
Coming from someone who's older than you two. Sounds so bad. But
go.
I would also say that sometimes the distractions are not always like
Bad.
evil or wasteful.
Yeah.
Like as in, sometimes you watch too much Netflix. It's kind of wasteful in some ways. But like I think about sometimes life, it's just there's a lot to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it could even appear productive.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you looked at each of your to-do lists and I looked at mine, like I work 2 jobs, which equals full time. And then when you work 2, they can ask or need more things
Yes,
outside
yeah.
of work. Plus I have 3 children, 50% of the time. And I have a husband. You have relationships that you need to maintain.
Yep.
And then you have, for me, it's like school things that I need to go. And then
Yep.
they didn't do this right. And they didn't send me that. And then I need to book that thing. Or there's just like, oh, look, the kids need new shoes or I need new shoes. Or
Yes.
there's 1,000 things. And it's not actually, they're not evil. And they're not even wasteful.
No.
But they can still distract you from growth.
Yes.
And I do think that it can be really hard then
Yes.
to go, well, I need to discipline and carve out more time and be more intentional when we feel like our lives are full. And I'm not saying that that's in comparison to someone who's single or married with kids or anything
Yeah.
like that, because I think everyone's life is really different and unique.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to go, we're not just talking about distractions when it comes to wasteful things or bad things, but actually just like life can be
Yes.
full and distracting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it's very like another discipline barrier is just discouragement, where it's and I find for me distraction is followed by discouragement, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh no, sorry, other way around. Discouragement follows distraction.
So it's like you get discouraged and you make decisions out of that.
Yeah. And I'm distracted by just life in general. And then I was like, oh, but I really wanted to apply this new habit or this new discipline to my life, but I got distracted from it. And that discourages me because then I feel like I'm behind. I feel like and then that, this inner voice is saying, oh, well, now you're just behind. Now you're behind the 8 ball now. It's too late to start.
And now that you are,
Yeah, right? But I find with the one thing that helps me silence the discouragement factor is the awareness of how far you've come already. And just even finding ways I've found to track how well you're doing in certain ways. It's
definitely
so helpful. It directly combats the discouragement by encouraging you. No, this is the person you are. Why? Because there's so many decisions been made to support the identity that you are this person, because you have been making these decisions that are good for your future, right?
It's also good because last week we talked about the inner critic, right? Which is also, this helps to combat that and say, no, what your inner critic's saying is false.
Yes.
That's false because you have evidence here, which evidence is better than just positive self-talk, if that makes sense. Because it's like, oh, hang on, this is stacking up in my favor, which is...
Indeed. Yeah. And that really is true. Yeah. Especially when it comes to starting new things in your life. Tacking something onto something that's already existing is a lot more helpful, and especially in a busy life. In a busy lifestyle, it's quite difficult to carve out like an hour of your time every single day if you want to go to the gym or something like that. And that can be a very daunting and discouraging barrier for your growth, because you're like, oh, I want to get more in shape and I need to be more disciplined in that way. But then you're like, but I don't have an extra hour every day to be doing that. And that it's just the gap between where you are and where you want to be is just too significant. And that's just another way you get discouraged. So starting where you are is quite significant. And finding ways that you can implement small versions of the behavior you want now to start slingshotting you into. Because one thing that it really helps you with is momentum. And momentum is unbelievably key for
getting the ultimate outcome.
Absolutely.
And going from where you are now to where you will be in the future, because it is quite unrealistic. If Pastor Bethany, if you were to try and say, oh, I need to carve out an hour of my day every single day from now to the end of the year, I have to somehow in my life I have to do that because I need to get in shape. Are you going to make that decision now to start doing that?
Even now, I'd just begin to go, man, I would feel so tired by week 1 or 2. You know, like, and it's like it's such a big thing. And so then you're saying, well, add it on or include it in, or figure out a way that does work.
Because and it's such an encouragement to me when I look back. I have an app on my phone that I track the small habits in my life.
Great.
And it started because I was like, man, I just want. It maybe a bit too much TMI, but I was like, man, I just want to make sure I'm brushing my teeth twice a day.
That's great.
So I'll track how many times in a row, without missing days, how much and how long I can do that in a row, and then I do that for like making my bed. I do it for reading my Bible in the morning, praying, so like things that I can measure.
Streaks,
to give myself evidence that I am growing. I am growing in those areas, because that also gives me confidence to then go, oh, well, I can commit to new things as well.
You know what? It's really cool because you're measuring things that you want in life. Because too often we can measure, there's someone I know and they're getting married soon, and this is not a knock on them, but I opened up their wedding invitation and it's got how long their Snapchat streak is. And it's long. It's in the thousands, right?
That's impressive.
And then how long they've been dating, how long they've been engaged, and how long whatever it is, right? And I was just like, whoa, these numbers are so high. But it's also pretty impressive. And though that's kind of fun, and I just use it as like a balance, but too often we can like kind of be catching or measuring how many shows we've watched on it. Oh, have you seen that? Have you seen that? Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Oh, that was good. Have you seen this? And it's like, well, we're actually better off measuring the things we actually want out of life and being kind of more disciplined in that and being intentional and going, actually, they're the things. And instead of going, how many shows, how many books have you read? You know, like just turning our conversations and even what we value around in our head, which it's great that you're measuring those. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I find something interesting is we've recently did for our listeners, a staff development day, and we do one every year. And there's always a lot of content that then you walk out thinking, I got
that's going to take me months to process.
But what's been really interesting, I think, is a lot of reflections from our staff has been like the age-old saying, I was like, a failure to plan is planning to fail, right?
Yeah.
And there's a few areas in which I think our staffers have been like, I need to plan in that area in order for this to be a win. And I think it does come back to even what you're saying with the measuring is somehow there's a plan, or these baby steps that I'm adding on to something. There's a plan in the back end of that. And when I want to grow, but one of the barriers to is like, I haven't actually put any time into, I haven't put any intentionality.
Yes.
I haven't sat down to even plan this, let alone do this. Right. I think if we just kind of hope, I'm gonna be fit. Like
I'm manifesting some good vibes around my fitness, bro.
Perfect.
But you know, like if there's no plan, I was even in my book that I'm reading, which is not a, it's just like a novel. But it was just talking about this copper that every Monday he thinks I'm going to start my, healthy routine, and then by Tuesdays eating Mars bars and crisp again. But there's no ongoing plan. Like he hasn't, and so I think with many of us, a failure to plan is a big barrier to us kind of actually making a difference.
This topic so much. I love this topic so much. It's so good. I just love it.
Pause in the love of it.
Because I'm just so many like 1,000 threads are popping into my mind. I recently, I've been wanting to get off my phone recently because it's just it is the theft of minutes.
Maybe
and I
you
can't
buy a 3315.
No, I'm not going back. I need my phone for too many things. I've used my phone for too many things for me to go. But I kind of am also just very stubborn where I'm like, no, I'm not going to let my phone get the best of me. It's my phone. I'm not its person. Right?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So I have just an assessment of my screen time, an assessment of my priorities. And I was just like, man, you are on Instagram too much and Facebook and YouTube too much. So, and there's this famous book that a lot of people know, which is called Atomic Habits. Never heard of it. Wow, that's crazy. And it does have a lot of fantastic things in it. So I do recommend reading it if you are like wanting to get some core disciplines into your life. It has amazing content that goes down to the atomic level. Atomic Habits.
Crazy.
One of the things I love about it talks about the idea of replacing behaviors instead of stopping behaviors.
Yeah.
As in replacing a behavior with a new behavior, a desired behavior. Like, oh man, I want to get off my phone. I got to stop doing that. Stop doing it. I said, stop. The more you tell yourself, stop doing it, the more you're actually thinking about it realistically. Yeah. And the more you're obsessing over this thing instead of maybe obsessing about starting something you do want. And for a little while.
It's a great point though.
Yeah. And one thing I've been thinking a lot about recently is, man, I just miss the childhood feeling of going to sleep reading a book. It's just such a childhood experience. I remember, but then I was like, Isaac, you still love those books you were reading when you were 12. Just read them again. So I've been going through all the old books that I really loved. I was reading it during my lunch break, but I decided, no, I want to go to sleep doing that.
Yeah.
It's been a challenge though to silence the dopamine that's radiating off this phone right here. Just promising me a little bit of enjoyment before I go to sleep because I'm afraid I'm going to miss out on something. And instead just put some things and some strategies in place so that I make sure to read my book instead. Some core things is... but
you're saying right, is that it hasn't added more to your life, right? Because you're talking about replacing. So instead of 10, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever it is on your phone, I'm switching that for a book and I haven't lost anything.
I have not lost anything. And in fact, I would say I've just gained things.
Something.
I've gained...
Even better sleep.
That's actually one of the key things that made my phone use aware to me is because I was having horrible sleep. And someone was like, do you use your phone before bed? I'm like, no. Oh.
For 40 minutes. No.
Actually, I was up to 2 a.m. last night, doom scrolling. Oops. Oh, Facebook Marketplace, gang. That's what I was doing.
But it's a really good point because even if it is like a 10-minute, just do my checks. But it's like, but what value does it add when this replacement does add significant more in the sense of enjoyment, living a pastime, all those things, even getting more knowledge that's helpful or fun, opening up your imagination and creativity, plus better sleep. So there's a lot there that it's like, but you are right that if I focus on not doing something, It's really not as good.
It's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Because that's all you're focusing on. So then you're likely to, what they say, step on the grass, because you're focusing on the sign that says don't step on the grass. But
Teefy says it a lot. You are what you give your focused attention to. So if you're giving your focused attention to, focused attention to your phone.
We should do a podcast with him.
Wow. Yeah, we should
invite him on as a guest.
We should.
A good idea.
Wow, that's such a good idea.
Wow,
such a good idea.
Pastor Ben Teefy. What a good idea.
One of the things Atomic Habits talks about, making, replacing, and then making new habits. Old habit, you make it invisible. Your new habit, you make it as obvious as possible.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So what I did, I was like, I need to get off my phone. How am I going to do that? I'm going to make reading really obvious. When I make my bed in the morning, I'm going to put my book on my pillow, so that when I come into my room, I'm aware. Oh wait, I'm gonna read tonight. Yeah. Oh wait, that thing I'm aiming for, I'm gonna do that tonight. I'm gonna do that. So I'm even prepping my behavior. Yeah, it's actually. Yeah. I stole that from someone else on Reddit. I swear.
I was reading last night and I thought, I want to do this a bit more. So I'm
so that was super. That was super helpful. One other thing was remove and make it invisible. Make my phone invisible. I removed my need to do anything to. As soon as I get into my bedroom, I don't need my phone anymore, and it goes straight on charge. So I set my alarm as I'm brushing my teeth. I'm ticking off my habit app. I'm setting my alarm for the next day, and then I'm doing answering a message. Boop, 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 boop. As soon as I walk into my bedroom, it goes on charge, and I have no reason to check that phone again for the rest of the night, unless I'm wanting to be super rebellious, and then I'm just doing the wrong thing anyways.
It is a great point, though, because your phone is, in our generation or our life, whatever you want to call it, society, is one of the biggest distractions, right? And it is interesting that people do actually feel like they owe it to the phone. Like they owe people something. But it's once upon a time, when you were home, you get a phone call. If you were not home, it didn't matter. Yeah. And so then I also think that you own your phone. And I know a parent, and he's just recently just gone, I don't want my kids to see me on my phone. And he goes, but why do I need to be on my phone? Like the question of why do I actually need to be? Because he's either at work doing his work and he can come home, give dedicated time, or do it at a certain time when the kids are not there. But it was like very much like there's not a lot in which I need to do it around them all the time. And again, how the phone can just control us. Jemma, tell us about discipline barriers or some wins that you've had or something.
Ooh, come on.
Yes, I feel like you guys have already covered this really well, but just want to double down and harp on the importance of just prioritizing for long term when you're planning your disciplines that you want to put into your life, because I feel like that is honestly the biggest problem for me personally that I've encountered, and I know it is for a lot of people too, is really starting off as Isaac was saying, being like, I'm going to go to the gym for 1 hour a day. But I feel like even things that are a lot smaller than that is that we can do something that's almost like too much of a big step for us that then things fall apart and we get discouraged. But I think so for me, I'm a lover of language learning. This is something everyone who knows me will know about, because I just love language learning so much. I learn Chinese for fun, guys. I know, crazy.
Wow.
But I remember that it actually really made it hit home to me how important being disciplined was, because I used to be stuck in this cycle where I would have like so much energy and momentum for language learning for like 1 month, and I would go so hard. I had the perfect strategy. I was like, I'm going to listen for this many hours and I'm going to spend these many hours writing Chinese characters. And then you just burn out and it kind of falls to nothing until you have the next peak of motivation 6 months later. Wow. And I remember after doing this for a couple of years, I kind of just came to the realization that like without consistency, I am no closer to being where I want to be.
Wow.
And it honestly made me realize that who I am today, the choices that I make today, I am choosing the person that I want to be in 5 years' time.
Wow.
That today I can make the choice whether or not the person I am in 5 years' time knows Chinese or not.
Ooh.
But even outside of that, like I can choose whether the person I am in 5 years' time is able to handle conflict, whether the person that I am in 5 years' time is able to have more confidence in whatever areas. But if I want to do that, consistency is the most important thing. It's so much more important than having one burst of motivation and trying to do as much as you can in that short period of time. That the best thing you can do is prioritize for consistency over the long term.
Yes.
And so now all of my language habits after that I formed around what can I do. And I literally the way that I did it was that I had like low energy things, medium energy things, high energy things. And then each day it's like, what do I have enough energy to do today? Because I've got to do something towards this goal. And I remember at the start, I would literally I'd be about to go to bed. This would happen almost every night. And I'd force myself to just listen to 2 minutes of a YouTube video. And then I'd be like, and that's enough. And I'm going to bed.
I have won the day.
But what Isaac was saying earlier that, again, I just wanted to highlight was that momentum is so important, because over time, your capacity to be disciplined will grow.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you are not someone who has grown up in an environment that teaches you to be super disciplined, you're not going to find that you're naturally very good at it. And that was me. But the more that you practice discipline, it's just like any other skill that you grow. It's like any other muscle that you grow. So being able to prioritize for longevity and just do those small things over the long term. I know that I'm just using Chinese as my example, guys. I'm sorry. but I'm like, these days I've got my habit tracker. I track exactly what I do every day in each different skill. I know that I get at least 150 hours in a year.
Come on.
And
is your language getting better?
Oh, so much better. Bethany. So much
She heard
better,
a passing
so much
conversation. We were watching a movie and she heard a passing conversation in the background of the movie. And she was like, they were talking about pork dumplings. And I was like, Jemma, that's not even important.
That's not the point. Yeah. But it makes so much difference. And so for me, I'm literally now, this is so crazy, guys. On my day off even, I have a list of things that I'm like, because I don't want to get distracted by just having my day off, being on my phone all day and then getting to the end and being like, and now I've wasted it. I've wasted my only day off. So I literally on my day off, I'm so strict about it. I have a list of things that I'm going to do. And it's like, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to read a chapter of Chinese. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I just like force myself to go through the list. And with the things that I'm better at, I'm like, I'm going to read a chapter of my book in Chinese because I've grown my discipline in that so much. Yep. With the things that I'm worse at, I'm like, I'm going to do 5 push-ups today. Assisted push-ups. And you know what? That's the start. That's baby
But that's
steps.
a really good point, isn't it? That it doesn't have to be the whole chunk.
Yes.
All at once or all 5 things at once, because you've just added on slowly and built up those muscles. But here we are, and I think that's interesting because you've got to at some point, one, make the call to do it, but then you've got to follow through on what you're saying to do, and it doesn't have to be the hour at the start, but even the low, medium, high, like it's a great thing of like, some days I can do this, but I did something. I did something.
Yeah, consistency.
I'd even say just one thing that has helped me very recently with long-term consistency, and I think was key to actually me finally reading my book every night and doing some other core things that have been helping me, is I added a personal accountability system. Because if I don't want to change, no mentor, no pastor, no parent is going to make me change.
No, so true.
It's my life. I'm an adult. If whatever I want my life to be, it's gonna be. Right. So now it's just personal accountability, follow through on things that I say I want to do. So what I've decided that I now do every single week on a Saturday. So that's my one day off. I sacrifice like around 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how chaotic it is. I will sit down with myself and have my weekly monkey meeting.
Tell me about your monkey meeting.
Weekly monkey meeting. I call it the weekly monkey meeting because of a YouTube video I watch where it explains discipline and habits, how to implement them and how to maintain them over a long period of time. But the guy explains it with an animation of a monkey and explains the things that you want in life are bananas. So if Isaac wants this, aka a banana, he has to do this behavior to get that banana. Likening that to a lot of things. But he said one of the key things for him was have a weekly monkey meeting with yourself. Attendance is you and only you. You sit down and write and have a list of things that you've been working on and assess yourself how you've been doing at it and have some key questions with it. So I have like a bunch of habits that I'm doing and I'll go, am I going good? Yep. Fine. I'm keep tracking. Oh no, I missed that 3 times this week. Why did you do that? Oh, because you went to bed really late, Isaac. You can't keep doing it. If you want that behavior, you have to do this, right? And one of the ones I was doing is, Isaac, you say you want to read at night, but you still pick up your phone. You don't do the things that set yourself up, ready to go to bed and put your phone on charge straight away. The only person to blame is you, Isaac. The reason you woke up late this morning is you, right? And I know that's quite confronting to say, definitely, especially if all of us have been maybe dealt a poor hand of cards at the beginning of our lives, right? Again, one of the things is being aware of what you've been dealt and how to deal with it well. But that follow through and failing to follow through is what will cut your progress and growth and discipline out at the knees, right? Yeah. And having personal accountability systems that propel you in the direction you actually want to go and hold yourself to it has, I'd say it's quite significant to my my habits and disciplines now I'd say that's been a very significant jump up from my plateauing of my habits that I've had recently. Yeah.
Well, Isaac, Jemma, good conversation. I feel like a question worth asking everyone today is, do you want to grow? Do you want to grow? Because if you do, we've dropped some cool things. There's been some really cool strategies, really cool small steps, really cool different things of either resources or other ways, other people to jump on board with, or accountability people, small steps, the community you're involved in. There's many things, but the question is, do you want to? And then can I encourage you, do something that's heading in that direction. Sometimes just the initial step can be the thing that you need to do, and that can be a barrier too. So can I encourage you, do something today that is in the direction of the person that you want to be. Well, thanks for stopping by. To stay connected with us, it's Encounter Church TV on YouTube, Encounter Church AU on Instagram. We're all about leading lives that leave love in our wake. So until next time, maybe we can all find ways to do just that. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.